Hi everyone, welcome to this channel. Today we are going to talk about teaching English to very young learners. I know that sometimes it's really time consuming to plan your lessons because you have to come up with different ideas, and if you have no idea how to structure your lesson, then it may become really hard. So today we are going to talk about lesson plan and how to plan a lesson with very young learners. Please watch this video till the end because in the end I'm going to give you some presents. I remember myself starting working as a teacher with very young learners, so basically children from 2 years old to 6 or 7 years old. And I started teaching young learners when I was in China, and we had very long lessons. So we had 1 hour and a half lesson for very young learners, and it was so complicated for the first month, I think. I didn't really have any experience working with small kids, and I didn't really study how to do that. So I had to learn everything myself and learn through practice and also reading books and then in the future taking some courses. I had some ideas on what to do with the kids for 30-40 minutes, but 1 hour and a half, that was too much. So I really spent, I think, around 3 hours on planning my lessons to make them diverse, to make them interesting, absorbing for kids. But with the time it was getting easier and easier. It's just a matter of practice as usual. So if you find yourself struggling working with small kids, or you're just starting off working with small kids and you have no idea on what to do with them and how to plan a lesson with them, today we are going to discuss this topic, and I hope this will help you to become a better teacher. When you start planning a lesson, the first thing to consider is your target language and the goal for the lesson. So you have to understand what is the idea, what is the goal of this lesson. You have to think about the final result you would like to see at the end of the lesson, what the kids can do, whether they can say some words, maybe recognize some words, say full sentences, maybe being able to use some grammar structures and so on. So it depends on your plan, it depends on your goal. But this is what you have to think about. So when you start planning your lesson, think about the final result you would like to get, what the kids are supposed to be able to do or to say. If you understand your goal, it's then easier to focus on some things, on some special things in your lesson plan. After that, we think about the target language. So for example, the target language of your lesson can be sports, or body parts, or well, anything, any topic you would like to cover. So for example, the target language would be body parts, and you're going to study I don't know, hands, arms, legs, and so on. So maybe 5 or 6 words, depending on the age of the group, of course. And also, what is the goal of these words? So for the first lesson, are they supposed to only recognize them or be able to pronounce them and identify them? They are already old enough to speak with full sentences, and maybe you're going to introduce I have, and plurals maybe, so again, it depends. But if it's just the first lesson for very young learners and they haven't studied any body parts yet, then the goal of the first lesson on this topic would be for them to recognize these words and be able to identify them and say them. One more thing to consider when you plan a lesson with very young learners is a routine. It's really important for kids to have a special routine when they are in class. Some may say that, so basically we have every time the same thing and the kids will get bored, but it's not about having the same thing every time. It's about the structure, so that the kids understand what they are to expect during the lesson. When working with young learners, it's really important to create such an atmosphere where they feel confident, comfortable, and they know what to expect. When we want to change something in the lesson, change the routine, we can do that for some specific purposes, maybe some holidays, some celebrations, but we say this to the kids, that today we will have some special lesson and it will be a bit different from what we've already done. Also, routine helps children keep focus during the lesson, so they know what to expect, and they will try, and it will be easier for the teacher to deal with the discipline issues. If every time you have different structure of a lesson and every time there is something new, the kids may go crazy and it will be really hard to keep them under control. So when I'm talking about the routine, it's basically the structure of the lesson we have. So the lesson consists of 3 parts. It's the warm-up, it's the first part, then the main body of the lesson, and then the final stage of the lesson. The warm-up is almost the same every time. The way we do it now in our school, we start the lesson with a song. It's usually a hello song. Yeah, so it's up to you which song to choose and to use throughout the year. When we normally use some chance to ask one another, how are you? What's your name? And just to revise some of the things we've covered before. And also every lesson we write the names of the students on the board and give them stars throughout the lesson, yeah, for singing songs, for answering, for speaking English, and so on. But when we ask their names, we don't just ask them like, what's your name, and then write the names. It's a whole procedure. We take markers of different colors and then ask for the first student, what's your name? The student says, for example, my name is Peter. Okay, what color do you want? The student picks a color, yeah, maybe a blue marker, and says, I want blue. Or maybe in the future, yeah, when they can say longer sentences, they can say, I want a blue marker. And they pick the marker and we write the names. And after that, normally we also give them stars. The first star is for the fact that they actually have come to the class today. I draw a small star and a big star and ask them, do you want a small star or a big star? And I help them say, I want a small star or I want a big star, depending on their choice. We try to create such an atmosphere where students speak English and they ask things in English. So whenever they would like to ask you for something, maybe a pencil, a pen, a marker, they have to say, may I have this, or I want this. Yes, so again, depending on the age of the students, on what they can say already. And this really helps them use the knowledge, and not just to memorize words and structures, but understand when to use different constructions, when to use different phrases and questions. So I think that it's really important to include such real life situations and conversations in our classes. After warm-up goes the main body of the lesson. This is the part where we have to achieve our goal for the lesson. So if we are to introduce some new vocabulary, we introduce this vocabulary using different objects, realia, flashcards, toys, and so on. We definitely use questions. So if, again, the topic is body parts, we don't just teach them hand, leg, yeah? We keep asking them so that they get used to using and hearing these questions. So we can ask them, what's this? Or do you have? Yeah, depending on your goals, again, and target language. And from the very beginning, we try to teach kids using full sentences, even very short full sentences. It's a hand, it's a leg, and so on. After we've introduced the vocabulary for the lesson, we have to practice, of course, yeah? We play different games to practice this vocabulary. And there are different types of games. So here we have to understand that we go from the simple games to the more complicated games. And we start with the games where kids are supposed to just recognize the words without pronouncing them. So they just, the teacher says the words, the student recognizes the words and has to repeat after the teacher. And only after that, we use the games where students have to pronounce the words or maybe say a full sentence without teacher's help. So after presenting the vocabulary, after practicing the vocabulary, we can also use some extra activities, different worksheets, coloring pages, and so on. But here again, it's not only just for the teacher to relax. So we give the worksheet, we give the coloring page, and we do nothing. So the kids just work on their own. It doesn't work like this. Again, we have to create a real life situation, and while the kids are coloring something, we may ask them, questions. What color is it? What are you coloring? Do you like this? Do you like that? Or maybe we can comment, oh, this is such a beautiful picture. Well done, great job. And is it your favorite color? And so on. So we can use different questions and just sentences so that the kids can hear you. The children hear everything. It may seem that they don't really listen to us, so they don't hear some of all the things, but actually they hear everything. And even if you think that they are not paying attention or they're not taking part in singing songs and doing different activities, still they hear things you are saying in English. So that's why it's important to use English as the language for the lesson. And then the final part is we sing a final song, bye-bye song. Then throughout the lesson, like I said, we give them stars. So we calculate stars for each of the students. Even if they haven't studied numbers yet, still we count them. And this is the way they also memorize numbers, yeah, because we do that every time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we can write number 5 and just, yeah, well done, great job. Yeah, so we give high five maybe to the student, and then we give stickers to the students so they know that they are encouraged to come next time and just to learn English. And that is it. And this is our lesson plan. So today we've covered the topic of a lesson plan very roughly. I would like to share with you a template of a lesson plan. You can use this template to create your own lessons, to write your own lesson plans. What you have to do to get this template is to follow me on Instagram. You can follow the link. You can find the Instagram link in the description. So follow me, send me a direct message with a code word template. And I will send you this template of a lesson plan, which you can use in your classes. I hope that you found this video useful, and if you would like me to make more videos on teaching English to very young learners and young learners, please follow this channel, follow me, like this video and write some comments. Hope to see you in the upcoming videos. That's it. Bye.